I'm gonna read her quick bio if you're not familiar with who she is, which you all are. Mexican-Lebanese actress Emeraude Toubia is one of the most watched up-and-coming talents in the industry today. Born and raised in Texas, Toubia is currently starring in the hit freeform series Shadowhunters. Little show, right?
Yeah.
Small.
1, 2, 3.
She just got like swarmed outside. Okay. So after her first season on the Teen Choice Award-winning show, Emeraude was nominated for a Teen Choice Award for Choice Sci-Fi TV Actress. Shadowhunters is based on the best-selling young adult fantasy series, The Mortal Instruments, written by Cassandra Clare. Toubia plays Isabel Lightwood, a Shadowhunter human-angel hybrid who hunts down demons, a drop-dead gorgeous trained fighter in heels. I can read the rest, but we're gonna talk to
Let's just whoever wrote that did a really good job, so thank you.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out. Oh, there you go.
So welcome, and thank you so much for being here. We are so excited to have
No,
you.
I am so excited to be here and, to get to know every one of you guys out here.
Good. Cool. So first off, congrats on your nomination for tomorrow's Teen Choice Awards. That's
Yes,
so cool.
it's my second year in a row being nominated. Sometimes it's like you get into this industry and you don't know like the perks, and it's like, okay, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So the show came to an end, but I hope we get to take this Teen Choice home because the fans have been incredible, and I feel they deserve it. You're constantly voting online, so I feel that it would be a good end to take this Teen Choice home.
That's amazing. That's so exciting. Congrats. So tomorrow, you guys got to tune in to see if
Yes, tomorrow on Fox at 7, I think.
Yeah. Cool. So people know you as Isabel Lightwood from the hit series Shadowhunters, of course. Tell us more about the role and that experience.
Yeah, well, it was really nice to book this role because I felt I wasn't typecast. Being half Mexican, half Lebanese, I feel they were just open to see any type of girl. And I think Hollywood is changing, and they're experiencing and they're seeing, America is a melting pot. So why do certain roles have to be a certain way? So it was amazing being Latina and playing a character that's not Latina. So that to me is an accomplishment. It's my first big role. So it was a dream come true to move into LA, and a couple months in, book this role. It comes with a lot of hard work. But yeah, I mean, it's, playing sort of a superhero on TV. I get so many questions from fans and, telling me like, oh, I never saw myself, being able to leave my country and, being able to pursue my dreams until like, I saw you or I saw the character. And, those are the things that are so gratifying from playing such key characters.
Yeah, and absolutely. I think a lot of people here in either digital marketing or influencer marketing, or they're influencers themselves. And I mean, me also working in the industry, so many people are typecast, especially like brands are casting, and you're like the token multicultural girl, or the token this, or the token that. So I love that, that you kind of overcome this, barrier, because it is. Like, you don't want to be just pigeonholed into one category. You're so much more than just Mexican, Lebanese.
Yeah, I mean, usually for Latinas, you get like the maid role, or like the stripper, or this or that. And it's like, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's not just that. We can do those roles, and those are great roles, but it's not just that. We can also play,
anything.
Yeah. So it's just teaching, educating people on how Latinas don't only look a certain way. We have different hair color, we have different eye colors, we have different body shapes. And, we're just people.
Right.
It doesn't matter where we come from, what matters is our talent.
Exactly. Everyone shouldn't be put in a box. So speaking of your character, how much leeway do they give you to kind of make your character your own, or do you have to stay pretty strict to what they tell you to be?
So how a series works is we do about 20 episodes a series, and we have a different director every episode. So it's you kind of have to, the director should know more or less what the show is about, but you kind of have to guide him through what, your character is. So, sometimes they want you to do a certain thing and you're like, wait, but my character wouldn't really do that. Now, sometimes you just agree on something. Well, let's just try it, and then we'll see what happens. So I mean, they were pretty flexible. I feel very lucky because I think like her arc and the story that was told with Isabel at the beginning, she wanted to impress her mom, and her mom was very hard on her. Even though this world is a sci-fi world, like the stories between the characters, the brother and the sister, and the mother and daughter relationship are so true. Then she went through like a drug addiction problem, which I thought it was very nice for being an actress to like, sometimes you get into the room and you're super scared. You're like, well, how do I do this? And then having the right people guide you on how to like overcome like harder scenes. So I feel like, yeah, there was a compromise of certain things, I am able to give my input, but certain things I just have to kind of follow the guideline of what the story is.
Right, and I'm sure as a takeaway for you guys, if you're an influencer or if you're working in this industry, it's like, if you have your own opinion, say it, right? Like if you feel that you can execute a campaign a different way, speak up because, you're...
Yeah, I think key is education, like knowing what you're talking about. And I think when you speak to someone with knowledge is when they're going to pay attention to you, and it's when they're going to look at you differently, And I feel like when I present an idea and I give the reasons behind my idea, it's a more valid point.
I respect people when they come to me and they're like, I think this campaign should change a little bit in this way, or do this or do that,
You have a great team.
Thank you.
Everything looks beautiful.
Thank you. I have, a great team. I didn't do it all. Cool. So let's talk a little bit about your background. You grew up in Texas, small town. Did you always have dreams of being an actress, or kind of like take us through growing up and how you decided to come to LA and pursue acting?
I always liked being in front of a camera. My mom used to like take a gazillion photos of me, and I'm like, Mom, please stop. But no, I just enjoyed it so much, and then I was like, I was in a like kids show. I was a dancer in a kids show for like a Mexican like early morning show. And then I remember being in the mall once and seeing like a big poster to like enter a pageant. And I was like, oh my God, I would love to be, deep down, what girl doesn't want to be a queen, So
Absolutely.
I was like, okay, let me try this. So nothing, and it's a lot of hard work. I think there's a lot of misconceptions with pageants. I had to really learn about where I was from. I had to learn about everything about my hometown. I had to learn everything about Texas. It was a lot of hard work and discipline. And, I started off doing that. And I feel, there's so many, a lot of people saying, you can't do this, or, wait, how old are you again? And it's like, so what? I feel as long as, you have your dreams, you're getting yourself educated in the way you want to go, you can accomplish it. I moved to LA with no money. I remember I was driving this car that sometimes didn't even turn on. And
How old were you?
I was like 23.
Okay.
And then the car didn't even turn on, and I had people screaming at me like, hey, do you need a ride? People just making fun of me for the type of car I was driving. But I just didn't stop. I was going to acting school from 8 p.m. to midnight, getting into the car, studying all day, and I feel like as long as you just work and educate yourself and become the best version of yourself, who says no? Just prove them wrong.
Yeah, we had our speakers dinner last night, and we actually had a conversation, a few of us, and all of us had such a similar story. I came from fashion PR, I did that for years, and my husband was like, you are not happy. You're coming home every night kind of complaining, and he's like, you need to change your life. And I was like, what? I can't do that. It's too big. And he's like, no, you're quitting your job, and you're gonna go for your dreams, and I support you fully. And then everyone else at the table started talking. They're like, yeah, my boyfriend booked a blog shoot for me and started my career. And then everyone else kind of had that moment in their life.
Yeah, that's great. Surrounding yourself with people that believe in you and that trust you and that push you to be better. I feel that's key. Sometimes I've hung out with friends and, oh yeah, I'm just chilling.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, but why don't you try doing this? Or I can help you out. Why don't you come with me to set? And it's like, I'm okay. And it's like, wait,
You can't teach hustle.
Yeah, you can. So it's like, okay, so yeah, I think surrounding yourself, my mom has been amazing.
Yeah.
She's the one that like injects the energy whenever I feel down, whenever I'm sad. She's like, you can do this, you can do this. Just remember like how hard you want it and you'll get there. And even now being on the show that has a great following, I'm still starting, like I'm still learning. And I feel you keep learning, and no matter, once you get to where you want to be, you're gonna want more.
Same.
And then once you get there, you're always gonna want more.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, you continue improving, and that just proves that you're very successful at what you do, because you're never gonna say, I've hit my mark and I'm good now, and sit back, because, you know, you can always hit different levels of success. And I mean, I look back at my first conference, it is so embarrassing. And then, you know, but you never feel like you've made it until, I mean, I guess, ever, right?
I mean, I think it's, I mean, a lot of people say this, it's the journey.
Yeah.
And you never understand it, but it really is the journey, because there's never really an ending.
No.
Because you just keep going. So it's enjoying, like...
Enjoying the moment.
Yeah, enjoying the moments, and every little thing, every person that's around you, it's just enjoying and, you know, being with them.
Yeah, absolutely. So you made the move from pageant world to acting. So how did that help you transition? I mean, being on stage, obviously, like, can you talk about the transition you made from the pageant world? Because I know there's been a few that have been in that space that have moved into the acting and hosting careers.
Yeah. Well, I was doing a reality show for a network called Univision. It's like the Spanish-based network. It was like a reality show, kind of like America's Next Top Model. And the discipline was on point. Just because it doesn't matter how you look, you have to work hard. So it taught me a lot of discipline. And then from there, they did some acting classes, some hosting classes. Then I moved on to a show. I was a TV host. And then I realized I really enjoyed the acting experience I had during the workouts, during the workshops. And I don't know, I felt like I could, like being in someone else's shoes, you know, you get to live other people's lives. And I thought it was like, why not try it? So I started doing soap operas in Miami in Spanish. And then I had a couple of offers to move to Mexico and work there. But I said, if my end goal is Hollywood, why Mexico? Why not go to LA? I speak English, so let me try and go out there. And audition after audition after audition, and a lot of, oh my God, you're amazing, and
no call.
It wasn't true. So I just started doing these auditions, and it's super nerve-wracking. And I just started saying, you know what, I'm just gonna go in, and as long as I feel good when I leave the room, that's what matters. Like, it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks of me, as long as I go in there and I do what I came here to do, and I did it how I feel was good, that's what matters.
Yeah, that's very cool. And, you know, it just shows persistence. Like, I always say this at our conferences, like, you guys are 99% ahead of everyone else by being here on a Saturday at 8 a.m. Like, you just surpass everyone because you have the persistence and you have the drive. That's a lot of it, honestly, is, you know, you can't just show up and be like, I'm going to one audition and here I am and I'm on a hit TV show. Like, it's work.
I just went to an audition yesterday, a director session, and I haven't been in a room in such a long time, and I was so nervous, like my heart was pounding. I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And nothing, it's like, don't let your fears overcome where you want to go. Like, the no is already there. You know, why don't you fight for that yes? Like, I just feel like, okay, you know, for a second when I was in the room, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna relax and go into the room. And it went really well.
I get excited hearing no's. It like drives me more. When someone tells me no, I'm like, screw them. I'm gonna prove that it's gonna be a yes one day. And that's what you have to be. It's like, no one's just gonna hand you anything. I mean, great if someone does, but the amount of times I've heard no, and maybe that's my PR in me that's helped, is it just drives me more. So, okay, back to your background, because I think it's so cool. That, you know, I love this topic. So, you have such a diverse background. How does that change, like, what roles that you want to take? Does it drive you in any way?
It actually does. Like, I get a lot of roles and I'm like, I'm not gonna do this, I'm not gonna do that either. I wanna take roles that challenge me, roles that scare me, roles that are gonna that I want people to identify with. I don't want just a role that's cool I mean, even though every role is fun, but I want roles that, you know, you really have to dig deep.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like make a difference in someone's life.
Challenge you. Yeah.
Challenge me as an actor. Yeah, those are the type of roles that I want to do. And now having a following, it's even more important for me to make sure that I'm setting the right example for like these young upcoming girls, because I feel like the industry right now is so. I feel like if you're young right now and you look at everyone on Instagram, you're confused. Like, should I be that way? Like, who do I look up to? You know, is it something that I always have to maybe with like glam? Do I always have to wear glam, or is the simple glam always nice? You know, so I feel like younger girls.
A lot of pressure.
Need more of those right role models to look up to.
Speaking of, who are your role models?
Oh, well, the personal side, my mom,
Yes.
she's my hero. But I love Salma Hayek. Salma Hayek is also half Mexican, half Lebanese.
Is she? I didn't know that.
Yes, she is.
Gorgeous.
And I feel she's been someone that has done great stuff, and definitely someone I look up to.
Have you met her?
No, I haven't. Hopefully
Make that
I'll meet her one day.
And now you're a role model to young girls, so how do you like maneuver that? Because I'm sure it's not easy. Like,
Yeah.
millions of people watching every move that you make.
I think just staying true to yourself. Like, even if you're funny or like, what does it matter? Like, maybe not try to always be so perfect. I think the young girls are kind of very smart. People underestimate others. They're smart and they know when you're not saying the truth, and they know when you're real. So I feel the more authentic you are and show the world who you are, you're gonna get a lot more following, and you're gonna get a lot more, you know, activities in your day-to-day life.
And in terms of social media, I'm sure a lot of people here are interested in like how you run your social media, because I'm sure you got all of these followers pretty quickly after the show, right? Like within a few months,
I mean,
you're like, whoa, millions.
The books really helped. The show that I was on had a big following before I was on the show. And, you know, it's just the characters, how authentic they are. And then, you know, me on my social media, I'm pretty real. I don't overpost, but I try to just maintain a good image for my fans. And yeah, just being authentic, being real, and whatever I feel comes from the heart, posting and trying to be true to who I am.
Do you do like filters and stage shot, like anything like that? Or you're just kind of like, I like this, I'm posting it?
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't love filters? But yeah, it just depends. It depends on the mood. Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
You're not like, I have my posting schedule, it's every Monday at 9 a.m. Okay.
No, I don't. It's just whenever I feel like it, whenever something interesting is happening, that's kind of how I post.
And which is your favorite social platform?
I think Instagram right now is doing pretty good.
Yeah.
It's definitely my favorite. Yeah, you know, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. I like Facebook because I keep in contact with my family, but
Yeah.
for the fans, and yeah, it would be Instagram.
Same. You do the stories and everything?
Yes. And they're getting better with their filters, like their fun filters.
Or you'll take a Snapchat filter and put it on Instagram.
Instagram, yeah.
So on your role in Shadowhunters, it's super physical. So how do you prepare for that? Do you do your own stunts? Like, how does that go?
I do. Well, most of my stunts. Sometimes they don't let me do all of my stunts. But yeah, we have martial arts classes. We have a trainer on set. We have. What's most important is to be safe. But yeah, I mean, you have to train hard. You know, you're going to the gym. You're lifting weights. It's like a dance routine when you're learning like martial arts. And also we get to fight with like swords. So it's kind of, you know, you're just dancing and you're learning a choreography. So it looks harder than it really is.
Okay, that's fun. And you're probably in the best shape of your life while you're working.
I'm never really strict on what I eat. I tend to really enjoy food a lot.
Same.
So yeah, I'm not a size 0.
There's some good snacks out there too. Cool. So the show is premiering the final half of your season early next year. What do you want your fans to take away from the final season of the show?
A lot of hard work. Like, it was a dream come true being part of that show, and I just want them to feel all the love that we put into it, and that I'm ready for what's to come, you know. It's not going to be easy, it only gets harder. So I'm just thankful for them and ready to move on.
Cool. And then in terms of giving back, you're extremely vocal about the numerous societal issues and causes. So tell us what is most important to you about giving back to the community.
Back at home, I was doing this really fun thing called Clean for a Day. So I would go into the hospitals where sick kids are, and I would just work with the girls, and we would like crown them, you know, they would be crowned as a princess, and it would just seeing the smiles on their faces. It's like, I think the most important thing you can give to someone is your time, and you know, it's just half of your day. Like, how much is that really hard to do?
Right.
So sometimes I sit in bed and I think I'm really gifted, like I feel blessed. And why not share some of that love with people that are in need? So it gets me a little...
I know.
But yeah.
It's very important, and especially as people, you know, in the influencer space, all of us are so blessed with like the gifts and the products and the, you know, events and all of these cool things that we get. And, you know, there's so many underprivileged people, and aligning with the cause, whether it's, can people align with this cause?
It's something like personal that I do,
oh,
not
okay.
really, but
or finding something that, you know,
that makes you feel good for doing what you're doing, you know, giving back, just giving back in the way you want to give back.
Yeah, it could
Whether
be
it is,
at an animal shelter.
Yeah, animal shelter. One of my stylists, she was saying that, you know, she just adopts a dog meanwhile, or takes care of a dog meanwhile they adopt him, and it's like, that's something really nice.
Yeah, and it feels so good.
It does. It does make you feel really good.
Very good. And then, so what obligation do you feel that you and influencers in general have when it comes to the content produced on your platforms?
Yeah, being true to yourself, yeah, kind of just being authentic, being you. And, you know, when I came into the industry, I was working with some people that would tell me, oh, you can't be too Latina. And I'm like, well, what does that mean? Yeah, you can't wear those type of dresses. But why? Like, so just because I'm a person of color and I'm Latina, I can't wear it, but someone, you know, who's lighter skin doesn't, just because they're lighter doesn't, you know, make them look bad. Just because I have maybe more of a curvy body shape, it makes me look, you know, so it's just like, you know, being young and naive, you're like, okay, you kind of follow what they're telling you, but it's like, no, I'm gonna stop listening to what people are saying, and I'm gonna start being me. I wanna be who makes me happy, you know, like stop listening to like what other people tell you and stop trying to please other people. You have to please yourself, but doing the right thing, obviously never, you know.
Right. And there's so many people, especially as you grow in the industry, there's going to be so many more people coming to you saying, oh, you should be doing this, or you should be doing that, or look at that person, and see what they're doing, and this is what's successful for them, but that's not your story. Everyone has their own story that's written in their own path, and it's hard, but you have to keep your blinders on. Like, I am super cheesy and make vision boards every year, but it works, right? Like, I don't know if you do them or anyone else here, but I make them every year. Good, okay. Every year, and it's like a January thing. It's like a fresh year, let's make a vision board, let's put together our goals, see what we want to achieve this year. And then I look back, I remember when I first started Simply, I made a vision board, and like, the Grove was on it, and Citibank, and Barney's, and like all these amazing things that I was like, never is gonna happen. And I look back now and I'm like, what? I think all of them, except like maybe one or two, have happened, which is incredible, because if you don't put these goals in place, you never know if you achieve them. And then it's just, it's a nice success when you do achieve these goals. And it's a good reminder to just stay focused on what truly is authentically you. And then, okay, wait, Latin America Harper's Bazaar cover, amazing. That's so cool.
Yeah, I was
Tell me about
cover. Yeah, well, they came with me with the idea of being nude on a cover, and I was like, okay, well, I feel comfortable because it's a high-end fashion magazine. It's not really a men's magazine. Yet again, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's something that I wanted for it to be true to who I am. So I said, okay, and then I thought, well, what's the reasoning behind doing a nude cover? And I said, well, I feel like you don't need clothes to be better. You don't need clothes to identify who you are. I feel that you need to believe you're beautiful, just staring at yourself in the mirror when you're getting out of the shower maybe. That's what should make you feel beautiful, and then everything else is just secondary, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I feel having a nice smile is a great accessory, and loving your body, you know, and if you have stretch marks, and if you know, it's like, what does it matter? It makes you who you are, and we should just stop trying to follow whatever perfection or whatever we are taught perfection is, because it doesn't exist.
No.
It doesn't exist, and obviously I do agree that you should be, you know, healthy, you should work out, you should eat, you know, just in general to maintain a healthy lifestyle, but I feel that you should just embrace and like hug yourself and love your body and how you are, and whoever doesn't like it can leave, and whoever loves you just the way you are should stay.
Exactly. I know, I look back and I remember phases in my life and I'm like, I didn't like my body then. And now I look back 5 years later after a kid and I'm like, I want that body back. So it's again, like cherishing the moments and the little successes along the way and loving yourself. It's like, so hard for all of us to do, but.
And it's not gonna be always, and it's not gonna be every day.
Right.
But you need those days, you need your sad days to have your happy days. So it's just, you know, just learning to live.
Yes. And so what is next for you after Shadowhunters? You've got like an open...
Yeah, I just, you know, getting back to it. It's not easy. People think, oh, you were on a show, it's gonna come so easy, but you know, it's getting back, it's grinding, it's hustling, it's showing, it's like proving that, you know, it wasn't a lucky thing that I booked the show, that I'm actually good and that I can keep working and preparing myself. You know, I coach a lot. I have an acting coach. We're always working together to make sure the scene is right, walking into the room, being really prepared, knowing what the character is about. So yeah, right now I'm preparing myself to see what's next to come in my career.
Very cool. So I'm gonna open up for some questions. Can you bring the mic around? Awesome. And when you stand up, say your Instagram handle. Because we are at a social media conference, right?
Hi. First of all, I love you so much. I loved you on Shadowhunters. You're like the perfect Isabel I would.
Thank you.
Since Shadowhunters is unfortunately over, are you gonna look for more roles similar to Isabel, or like you want to try something completely different?
I would like to do something completely different. I want to do a role where I don't get to wear any makeup. You know, I want to do a role where you can see my talent and maybe not look like, oh, you know, red lips, for example. But yeah, but it doesn't mean I don't ever want to do like a super like badass female empowered girl role. I do, but I would like to, maybe the next thing I do not be like that. But then, you know, you never know. The next thing I book might be just like Isabel, so we'll see.
Thank you. My Instagram handle, wanna hopes at me.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Violet. My handle is _Violet Banks. My question for you is, you said that you came here, and what that is, what did you do on your time before you found your role? Like, did you do, I know a lot of people do waitressing or they do an office job, and what kind of kept you going beyond, like, just going back to just, I need a job to be stable? What kept you on that track of your dreams?
So the first thing I did when I got here was acting classes. You need, whatever it is you want to be, you need to prepare yourself for that. So acting classes, nonstop. During my time off, I would get together with my castmates, classmates, and we would go over scenes, we would watch movies, anything to keep preparing me and to just fill my mind on what it was. obviously you need some time to yourself, have a day to like, you know, whatever it is, pamper yourself, love yourself. But yeah, it was nonstop. And what kept me going was the love for what I do. Like I want to act, I want to keep acting, so no one is going to tell me what I can and can't do. So just, you know, keep getting better, and I think there's always room for improvement. And you should always listen to what people say, but it doesn't mean you're gonna actually do it. But it's good to always listen, and you know, sometimes you're not gonna like what they're gonna say, but you just have to maybe understand and be like, okay, they could be right there, let me try and fix this or modify that. But yeah, just, you know, one thing after the other, just prepare yourself, prepare yourself. And confidence, you know, feel good. Like, at the end of the day, it's like, it doesn't matter, just feel good when you walk into places, and I don't know, just try to be, you know, like I said, like prepared to be good and to feel confident.
Hi, my handle's at Eugenia Valerino. And what would be a good way to appeal to both your Latino and non-Latino audiences? Without over being too much in either spectrum.
Yeah, I don't know, it's kind of hard to say, because like I've said before, it's just being me. Like, I do tend to post, you know, English and Spanish when I do my social media. I think that helps a lot, because sometimes you forget, or sometimes I just keep posting in English and I'm like, wait a second, some of my following doesn't speak English, so let me post something in Spanish. I try to do events sometimes, like in Mexico, that keep me connected with my audience over there, and then the events that I do here. But I think like Instagram is so like global that it's just doesn't really matter as long as you're just, you know, posting what you love to do. Thank you.
Do you have a following in the Middle East as well, or more Mexico?
Well, you know, I was just there visiting some of my family, and there were some fans waiting for me at the hotel, and it was like, oh my God, like the show is so big worldwide because of Netflix.
Yeah.
That it's incredible, like the platform you have. Sometimes you don't realize that someone's looking at your Instagram, and you know they're seeing what you're doing. So it's such a responsibility. It's a huge responsibility.
Yeah. Simply Dubai, we gotta talk.
Hi, my Instagram handle is @StyleByMalvika. My question for you is, how do you strike a balance between being an actress and then also kind of having this secondary role as an influencer/role model? Like, do you take both as like your job, or do you just consider being an actress as like your primary thing, and then the fact that you have this following and fan base, that you also just have a secondary role as an influencer? Is it like a 50-50 split, or like how do you?
I feel there's a lot of pressure. It's like, well, how many followers do you have? Oh, well, you don't have as many. Or okay, you have, so what is a lot and what is a little? You know, like, so there is a lot of pressure on maintaining your social media active. To me, yes, it is a lot of hard work when I am posting. For example, when I'm doing a getting ready for a red carpet event, I want to share with my following what I'm wearing, what type of lipstick I wore, what type of eyeshadow I wore, because, you know, maybe they want to replicate the look or whatever it is. So yeah, I mean, it is hard to constantly try and keep up with what everyone else is doing. But sometimes, you know, when I'm home, I just like to put my phone away and distract myself. But for me, yeah, it is work being on social media, the same as being an actress.
Hi, my name is Megan. My Instagram handle is Megan E. Acuna, A-C-U-N-A. And I was just wondering, you talk a lot about authenticity and just being genuinely you, and how on Instagram, you know, things can come across a certain way. So I was wondering, when you do things like shoot a nude cover, how do you negotiate with them as far as like retouching and things go? When you were talking about how like stretch marks are real, they're a thing that happen. Do you like want to be authentic with that and show people?
Yeah, well, for example, my Harper's Bazaar cover, obviously it was photoshopped. But sometimes, you know, it's the brand, and you have to kind of come to an agreement that they need to do what they have to do, but to a certain point. it's not exaggerated. They're not, you know, changing my nose. They're not changing, you know, I think there's like a balance. So there's certain things you can control and there's certain things I can control. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie and say I never use filters when I'm posting on my Instagram, but sometimes I don't. You know, it's like sometimes why not, you know, show. And it's not just because you use filters, it doesn't mean it's not you. But you know, I think it's just finding a balance to like make sure your fans don't think or your following think it's a certain way. Let's teach them maybe with like a certain primer or something that you can like maybe get that flawless photo finish, you know, photo look. So it's a compromise on when you're working with a different brand to kind of trying to keep it as true to yourself.
This will be the last question.
Hi, I'm Sydney, and my Instagram handle is at home_a_broad. Just to make it really difficult. My question for you is, when you're in an industry such as ours that's really public facing and we're putting ourselves out there a lot, how do you deal with rejection? Because even the most, you know, influential person is going to get a no sometimes. So how do you deal with that? What are your strategies?
I eat a lot of ice cream. It's sad sometimes. You're like, oh my God, I worked so hard for something, and then it's just a no. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I get sad, but then it's like, okay, you know, next day, let's move forward. And I think it just makes me work a lot harder and prove myself even more every time I get a rejection. Yeah, being better, working my butt off to show them that I am good at what I do.
And a lot of times it's not personal. It's just you're not the look or you're not the right whatever they're looking for. So, you know, in this industry too, it can be very, you know, it's hard. You get a lot of no's. So just know that it's not something personal. It's you just weren't the exact look they were looking for. So yeah, there's a million opportunities. When there's a no, there's a yes right around the corner. Thank you guys.
Thank you so much.